Hi, today we're going to talk about how to actually run a sample on the Planktoscope. The first thing you want to do is to turn on your Planktoscope using the power button located right here. Once you've turned it on, give it a few minutes for the Wi-Fi to show on your device. You can use a laptop, tablet, or smartphone. In this case, we're doing on a laptop. So you should see the connection here. It should be a PK scope, something similar to that, and you want to connect using your device to that site. Once you've connected, go to the home PK scope screen and click on the node red dashboard. This will take you to the home screen for the control of your Planktoscope. Next, you want to go under optic configuration. You can turn your light on here under light. And then you want to pass about 20 mils of milliQ water through the system just to clean it. I usually do that at the beginning and the end of the day of running samples. In this case, I'm just going to, because I've already cleaned it this morning, I'm going to just run about 5 mils through just to show you how to do that. So once you have some sample in there, adjust your flow rate. Usually I go between 10 and 20. And you want to do your volume to pass something above whatever your volume is so that you make sure you get it all through. Turn it on and just run some water through to clean out your flow cell. Like I said, I like to do this in the morning or before I run a sample and after, just to clean it out, make sure that whoever used it last cleaned it properly. In this case, it looks pretty clean. Flow cell looks good. Okay, once it runs dry, stop your pump. And now you can prep for running your sample. To do that, go under Sample from the home screen, and this is where you enter your sample information. You want to make sure you have the Planktoscope ID number, which should be U followed by a 3-digit number. In this case, U152. And here we want to put in the identification of our site, which is LB for Learning Barge. The date the sample was collected, which is 152124. Whether it was a live or Lugol sample. In this case, it's going to be live. And any other information such as the depth, anything you need. So in this case, we're going to do D1 for the surface depth. Name the operator. Station ID is going to be LB. Sampling gear. This is where you would choose what you did. In this case, it's a single location with a net or bucket. Here you enter your sample latitude and longitude. Very important to follow how they recommend it in the parentheses. In this case, it will be 36.8397 north, 76.25 west. The date of the sample collection is 2024 05-21. Time of the collection of the sample, which was 14:30, and then validate it. And if you did everything correctly, just say all good. All good. All right, so now we can move on. So you hit continue. This takes you back to the optic configuration screen. This is where I add my sample. So I add my sample. Invert it a few times. Add your sample. You want to make sure you have sufficient volume for the amount you're going to pass through, number of images. First thing I do is just prime the instrument. So turn it on. I just do a quick flow rate just to get some sample down through, get any air out. Once I've done that, I stop it. Here I'm going to slow down the speed some. I often do 0.05 mils per minute just to kind of run some sample through. Make sure everything looks good with my focusing. Here I'm going to stop the sample. For focusing, you can do up 1 mil or up 100 microns. I usually do the 100, the fine focus, unless it's an initial setup where you may need to go into some of the more, basically focus it until you get the best image quality that you think. You can run a little more sample through to look at it. Once you're happy with your focus, and stop the pump, then continue on. You go to the acquisition screen. This is where you need to adjust your acquisition unique ID. Should be the same as what you put in on the sample setup screen. So U152 LB 052124 D1 live. This is where you choose your number of images. Most cases 100 probably be sufficient. If it's a sample where there's very little biomass, you may want to up that to 200 images. That will take a larger volume. In this case, 100 images at the flow rate I'm doing, the pumped volume, which is 0.05 mils, it'll come out a total pump volume of 5.10 mils and a total image volume of 0.29 mils. You want to check your flow cell option, which will be 300 micron capillary. Once you've done all that, you click on Update Configuration, and then you're ready to start acquisition. One thing to be sure is to have your bubbler hooked up. This way you'll keep cells from collecting on the bottom of the syringe, and you won't get down into your flow cell. So when you're ready to do that, just click on Start Acquisition. And here you should see the pump started. Kind of pumps up in the screen here. You'll see capture progress, and then you'll know your sample's running. It's collecting images. And it will run for approximately 100 images. It'll take about 5 minutes or so. And when it's done, it'll say done. It'll say 100% complete. And that's how you run a sample. After that, you'll do a segmentation. So please refer to the segmentation video to see how to do that and how to upload the images to Google Drive. And that's how you run a sample.